Okay, in this video I'm going to show you how to build a lead tracker so you can track your leads through your process. Let's dive into our project.co demo account. First off, I'm just going to show you what we're going to build here. So we have a project called lead tracking, and in there we have a task tool, and in the task tool we have all our different leads, and you can see that the leads are categorized, grouped by lead status. So we've got new leads, contact attempted, in conversation, MQL, SQL, and lost. And in each one, we've got the lead name as the task name. We've got custom fields then for quality, budget, qualified, and when they expect to start their project. So this is a great way for us to track leads through our status, and at any time we can click into any of these custom fields and change the qualified, budget, the quality, the start date, any of those to work them through our process. So let's get building. First off, we're going to go to Create New and Project, and we'll call this Lead Tracking Demo. Hit enter and our project's created. Okay, so all we need to do is add a tasks tool. And you can see we've got our task tool here. So obviously it starts blank, so we need to add a few dummy leads to start this off. So I'm going to do this by just going to the drop down of new task and add multiple tasks. And I'm just going to add a few leads. So bear with me for one moment while I just add a bunch of leads. 10 should do it. So let's create and close. And we've got our 10 leads. Okay, so now what we want to do is we want to start creating our custom fields. So if I go to plus, and we call the first one lead status, and the type for this is going to be a select color. So let's add new lead, and we'll leave that on grey. We'll add contact attempted, and we'll give that a blue colour. We'll add in conversation, a yellow colour, MQL, we'll give a dark green, SQL will give a lighter green, and lost will give a red colour. Okay, so there we go. We've got our first custom field. Now we can go through and we can actually assign lead statuses to all of these leads. Let's just give them a few statuses. We'll mix them up a little bit so that we can reorder them at any stage. Okay, so now we can carry on and create our next custom field. So let's go to our plus again, and this time we're going to create one called quality. And we want this time not to be a select color, but to be a select. So we've got 5 levels here, and we want to add a little fire emoji for each one to say what quality level we are. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Okay. Now let's go through and create our next one, which is going to be budget. Because it's useful to know what budget a client has when a new lead has. So again, let's add 5, and we'll add 5 stages of budget. Next, we want to know whether the lead is qualified or not. So we're going to create another select color for that, and we're going to add 2 options, one of which is going to be green, and it's going to be yes if they are qualified, and one will be red, and it will be no if they're not qualified. And finally, And this will all come together soon. Don't worry, we're just adding the information, adding the data points that we need at this stage. Finally, we need to add a start date for when they expect to start. So again, we're going to use a select, but I just want to point out there's many different types of custom fields. So we could have a text if we wanted to track something like address, or text area could also be used for an address. Numeric if we had a number, currency if we wanted to track a particular currency, percentage for percentages, multi-select if we want to select, say, what services a client has of ours, or date if we want to track renewal date or birthday and things like that. In this example, we're mainly using select and select color. So this time we want to use a select again because we don't need a color for this, and we're just going to give 4 options, and we're going to say under one, we'll say ASAP. Next one can be under 1 month. Then we can do 1 to 3 months. And then we can do over 3 months. Okay. So now we have our leads, we have statuses, and we have all the different fields. But what I want to do is I want to tidy this up a little bit. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to my fields to display, and in here we don't need to display date, we don't need to display status, we don't need to display assigned. So we can just be left with our custom fields, the things that are important to us. So now we can quickly go through and set up all the different values in here. So I'll show you a little bit of that, and then I'll cut to it being filled out. So let's go into quality, and I'm just going to randomly assign a quality, because then we can mix this up a little bit at a later, we can show the filtering at a later stage. Okay, so I've added the quality. I'll just cut to me having added the budget now. Okay, there we go. I've populated all the fields now. So we have data points for all our leads. And we can tidy this up a little bit further. So if we come in here, we can double click our column sections just to get it to the sizes that we need. Okay, now we have our lead status for our clients, for our leads. We have quality, budget, qualified, and start date. So let's organize this a little bit further. In our demo, in the example that I showed, we also used these top buttons to organize our data further. So what we can do is we've already chosen our fields to display. In this example, we don't actually need to show subtasks because we won't have subtasks. Each lead will be its own task. So we can say no. We don't want to show completed tasks, so that's fine. We actually want to group by lead status, so we can show our lead statuses here. And we want to sort by 2 fields. And what we want to sort by is, first we want to sort by, let me open these up, close these up, sorry. What we want to sort by is lead status first, so these show in order. And then we want to order by start date. So if we go to lead status, and then we hold shift and choose start, that will then mean that we've got a sort of lead status first, with inside the lead statuses sorted by start date. And now we have a very cool lead tracker, so we can track our leads through new lead, contact attempted, in conversation, MQL, SQL. And let's say we change one of these from in conversation to MQL, for example. You'll see that lead 5 jumps from in conversation to MQL. If at any time we think the budget is higher than we expected and that they're then qualified, we can then change those data points as well. And if we ever want to filter any of our data, then we can come in here and do this by clicking filter, and let's just show leads that are qualified. There we go. And when we have this set up, I'll remove that filter. When we have this set up, we can go to our save view, save the page settings, and save this view for all users on this project only. And this means that when anybody comes into this project, this is the view they'll see. So, for example, if I go back to our welcome page, go back to projects, we'll click into our lead tracking demo that we've just set up, go into tasks, and you'll see here's our page with all our leads, all our custom data ready to use. So I hope you find that helpful. Hope you found that cool, and I'd love to see what you set up for yourself. Please get in touch with our support team if you have any questions, because we're here to help.